Then a dreaming fly outward that with a chill on my next
Yee-haw, Aniview viewers, this is Deputy Haroon here, and I'm gonna do a review of the Western sci-fi anime known as Gunneck Sword, and I ain't gonna do this acting anymore because it's gonna hurt my voice. Bloody hell. Right, serious note, this is a review of the anime Gunneck Sword, which came out in 2005, and it's been a while since I watched this, and I'm just like skipping through it just to remember the whole thing. Gunneck Sword is a 26 episode anime. It's a sci-fi mecha western. It's a really cool series. You have to go out and watch this. I'm saying this right now, even though I do this at the end. It's basically your average western thing. It's a plot of revenge. The main character in this series, Vaughn, is out to find a man simply known as the Claw, who killed his wife. And now he's pretty much seeking revenge over him. He's going out of his way to find him and hunt him down. Now that's just the main story elements, although obviously there's other elements that come into it. There's other stories, other characters, etc, etc. So let's go through them right now. So the first episode starts off with Vaughn the Dawn pretty much going into this town which has been terrorized by gangsters. He meets his sidekick named Wendy. She's the obligatory lolicon in the series. Yeah, you need one of them at least. Once Vaughn saves the town and learns that the Claw is actually moving along from town to town, he now goes on his journey to find him, and she also wants to come with him because the Claw also has her brother. So it's their two journey to go out and find the Claw. Now let's talk about the two main characters first. Vaughn, or throughout the series, he has many names. He becomes a sort of legend, if you will. Everyone always hears his name, you know, every time at the end of the episodes, or usually, Vaughn gets this new nickname or new, like, title. At the end of the first episode, he called himself Vaughn of the Dawn, or Steel Vaughn, or whatever, you know, and once people hear that, like, oh, you're the guy who did this, you're the guy who does that. He's this stranger, shall we say, you know, like the wanderer. He just wanders from town to town with the goal of revenge. You see him how he acts. And by the way, I'm watching this in the English dub, and the way he talks kind of monochrome. He has this like sort of really uncaring face about him. He's like meh about everything, you know. But there's this deep hatred and anger inside him, which comes out a lot of times when he's interrogating a person about the Claw. When he wants he wants to know something about the Claw, he's like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? You know, a Batman voice type of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know why there's Batman voice then, but you know, he's this character who's got his mindset on finding the Claw and killing him. He has no other goals out there except killing him. He does help out villagers or whatnot throughout this series, but he's just sort of doing them like it's sort of like good nature thing, or because mainly they're in his way. Although he does it because he's like a sort of honourable character. Like in one episode, there's this guy who's stealing the women to make them into like baby machines or whatever, you know, to just use them to reproduce babies. He's like, you know what, that's sick, man, I'm going to destroy you. You know, he's like that. He's a very noble character, but he's really driven by revenge. You see it, by the last 5 episodes, he goes insane. His hatred and anger consumes him. He is just ready to kill the Claw, and you know how it happens is epic as hell. Now Wendy is the exact opposite. She's a caring, nice person. She carries around her brother's gun. It was so that she could defend herself from, you know, anyone coming at her. But she never uses that gun. She also keeps it around as sort of like remembering his brother. That was his gun, so she keeps it. She never uses the gun in this entire series. I think she has like 1 bullet in it, but she never ever uses it. You probably see what it's building up to, but she always carries that gun around, and you know, she's a very nice character. She herself is not driven by revenge. She wants to find her brother. She's worried about him, and he is her only family left. So she's going out with Vaughn to find him, you know, because the Claw is attached with his brother, so she has to go find him as well. Now, some of the side characters there's quite a few. There's Carmen 99, and she's called Carmen 99 for a reason. 99, why is that end of a name? Because it's her bust size is 99 centimeters, which is absolutely BS. Okay, someone in the comments, please, absolutely, you have to tell me this. Okay, is it actually possible to have a bust size of 99 centimeters? Because that's literally 1 centimeter left from a meter. How is that possible? Unless you're working out the circumference or the radius of the area. I don't know how is that actually possible. Just someone tell me, please. That just like it just digs at my mind for some reason. She's a mercenary who's a friend of Vaughn's. He remembers her and everything. You know, she helps out Vaughn along his way on his journey to find the claw. And by the end, she's pretty much like another helping hand for his journey to fight the claw. There are also other ones. There is the Diablo 5. You know, these 4 old guys who were basically the Mexican Power Rangers, shall we say. They're like the armor pilots of you remember that thing in Power Rangers where the 4 animals come together to make like the one mech? It's pretty much that. They're like old superheroes type of stuff. They're really funny. They just fight one another, but they are really cool characters and their backstory is pretty cool. They only come in 1 episode, and then really far into the series, like the last 6 episodes, they do make a return to help Vaughn fight through the armed forces and other mechs that are trying to stop Vaughn from getting to the claw, basically. The claw. We should actually insert that Jim Carrey scene, you know, from Liar Liar. The claw. Then there's also these 2 brothers, one named Ray and one called Joshua. Ray is also looking for the claw because he has a very similar backstory to Vaughn. His wife was also killed by the claw, and now he is seeking revenge. So it's kind of like a contrast with Vaughn. You know, these 2 have got the same goals, but they're not working together because they want the satisfaction of killing him. You know, that's what they want to do. Joshua is his brother who is really trying to stop his brother from doing this. He really is trying to get him to forget it, come back to the present, stop living in the past or whatnot. Yeah, he really does love his brother a lot, and he's trying to tell him to return home instead of revenge, you know. And that's really the main thing about this whole series. It's a really good story of revenge. It's there, and it's not really brought up. You know, a lot of times it can be light-hearted, but by the end, or when the big reveal of who the Claw is, the series really becomes a lot more dark, and I really love that. You know, they're bringing up a lot of these characters who have a lot of tragic backstories who are working with the Claw, these villains, and their reasoning of why they're helping him. I do love the fact that they make the Claw to be the good guy at some points. When you meet the Claw, he has an agenda, which, if you think about it, sounds really cool, and you're thinking, is Vaughn really doing the right thing by killing him? Because he doesn't seem like he wanted to kill your wife, you know. Maybe he's just a good guy, you know. You're sort of in battle between, you know, maybe we shouldn't kill the Claw because he wants to help this, you know, frontier planet that we're living on, this sort of prison planet with all, like, you know, lawlessness and whatnot. He wants to bring order to it all. Should we be killing him? You know, you're sort of in 2 minds, you know, and then everyone is like, oh, Vaughn, you're ignorant. How dare you destroy our leader? He has a great future for us all. And he's like, nope, I'm going to kill him because he killed my wife. Now, I've gone a lot on about the story, and I think it's time for me to talk about the animation quality. Animation quality is very good. You know, it's fluent, and when the action takes place with the mechs and stuff, that looks really cool. The mech battles are pretty good. There are some really cool fight sequences with mechs, and there's a lot of varying different mechs and whatnot. There's some really cool designs, really cool features that some of these robots have. There's also a lot of, like, you know, melee fights, you know, like with swords and whatnot. They're really cool as well. The action is very well directed and very well choreographed, I think the word is. I don't know how you get choreography in a bloody anime, but still. You may have noticed I haven't really talked much about the villains in this series. That's because I don't really want to talk about them. There are a lot of sort of smaller villains placed throughout the series, and when you probably hit the halfway mark, the main 6 and 7, if you include the Claw, are introduced. But I don't really want to spoil it because there's some really cool characters here. One of them being 2 twins who I believe were orphans, and now they're helping out the Claw. One is this guy named Wu, who is in like a noble family, who is really psychotic, who's helping out the Claw. There's some really cool characters here, who all also have mechs which are from the same design as Vaughn, because Vaughn has a sort of special mech, which has one of 7, which are all named after parts of the day, like his is Dawn or Thursday, etc., etc. So they're all part of like the same unique armors, which no one else in the world has. they allowed their riders to actually heal, and they also get heal up, unlike you got to do repairs, they actually heal up with stuff. One thing I haven't mentioned is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is really cool. It's sort of like a western feel to it, because obviously it's a western genre. You know, the ending theme really does feel like a sort of western, you know, it's got like some guitars and whatnot. It's really cool themes in this series. I really love the OST. In fact, I actually want to buy the OST. If it sounds like I can't really say a lot about this series, it's because I've actually watched this 2 years ago. It's been so long since I watched this, yeah, and that's not saying, oh, it's so bad that you can't actually remember it. No, it's been so long since I've watched it, I can't really remember it. I can't really go into full detail that I can, and plus, I really want it to be a surprise for you guys. You're gonna find this is actually a surprisingly brilliant anime. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I didn't realize it was that good. I'm like, yes, you know, it's a great anime, you know, it's a great revenge tale. I mean, I love it's really by the end 5 episodes where it really just like builds up into sort of epic conclusion, you know, and it really is a great anime, you know. Vaughn is a fantastic character, which I really wish I could see more cosplays of. Why is no one cosplaying as him? So, my final verdict, I will give Gun X Sword a 8 out of 10, which is 4 stars. It is a fantastic anime. Even though I give it 8, it should be like more than that. If I say fantastic, it is a fantastic anime. You know, there are some flaws with the series. I really want you guys to go out and watch it. It's a fantastic series. I think I actually got a re-release not too long ago. Go out, pick it up, tell me what you think, and see you next time.
Dig a hole again, then a dreaming fly outward that with a chill on my next